sign that contract?
Yeah, man, it was a lot. It was emotional. Super thankful. You know, I'm a man who really carries my heart on my sleeve, and so, you know, to have enough perspective to see what I've accomplished in my career so far, to go out and earn something like this, it means a lot to me. And I just think about, you know, I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram last year, I posted a picture of me at like 18 months old wearing a Vikings shirt. And so, like, I can't even imagine what my younger self would think, being able to extend my career here and hopefully hang a few more of those banners.
Is that on the radar at all, that the talks or the extension could be coming?
Yeah, I mean, I think as players, you know, we probably we're pretty optimistic. You know, a lot of times in our career we've got what we wanted, and so after a good couple seasons here, I thought it would maybe be on the table going into a last year of a contract. And I understand how rare it can be for defensive linemen getting near the 30s and third contracts and stuff like that. But you know, I understood too, from a player perspective who wants this organization to be as good of an organization as we can, that we needed to address our quarterback situation. We needed to figure out our Justin Jefferson situation. We needed to lock up one of the best tackles in the NFL. And so, you know, just prayed a lot, understood that my time would come if God wanted it to, was fully prepared to play out this season, have a career year, and go to free agency as well. And, you know, the talks went smooth, and, you know, it was pretty dicey there as you wanted to maybe get the deal done before the season started. It didn't work out that way, but, you know, it ended up working out fantastic, and yesterday was one of the best days of my life.
What is it about this place that, I mean, had you so convinced that this is where you want to be?
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. You know, as a you know, Stanford educated man, I'm evaluating as many things as I can when going into this process, and you know, it's kind of a betting game, a gambling game. It's a stock price. You're trying to anticipate future earnings with today's value and the risk of injury and all these things. And so, you know, reality of it is yeah, you can go out to free agency and maybe earn yourself some more money, and you know, that's great. But at the end of the day, what's your happiness? You know, how can you measure that? How can you measure my wife at our house and our dog? You know, was the star of the photo. You know, there's just a lot of things. And then you talk about my organization, Harrison's Playmakers, and what we've been able to do here in the cities, and the need that I see for that to continue to grow here. And so I was measuring as many factors as I could to try not to make an emotional decision. And, you know, with my team and my agents and the Vikings, we ended up getting it done.
I was going to ask you, all jokes aside, like why it was important for you to have Shay and Marty there for you, just for that moment and those pictures. Everyone does it different.
Yeah, my wife was like, no, I think that's weird you want us to come. And I was like, well, you know, Shay's been with me since I was in high school. And so high school sweetheart, waited a long time, you know, through injuries and stuff like that. She's helped me in ways that are too graphic to explain in an interview like this, you know. So she's been there at my hard times. And then, you know, our dog is our world right now, and we love, you know, working with animal rescues and animal shelters. So we should have brought all the foster dogs that we've had in these last few years. My wife has fostered like 5 or 6, and they're all named after me somehow. I feel so bad. They're never named after her who does all the work, but there's a Harry out there, there's a Foster out there, there's all these different dogs Shay's got named. But anyway, you know, Marty's the hoot and the holler of the world, and we're trying to get him some marketing deals, you know, as a dog model.
You had a really good first week of the season. How do you build on that going into week 2?
Yeah, you know, it's I think you should see big jumps from players from week 1 to week 2, knocking a lot of the rust off. It's hard for me. I know we had a couple joint practices, but it's still a controlled setting. And then, you know, as a friend to a lot of the offensive linemen here, I can never really go 100% against my buddies. You know, you kind of get to them and I could have got you there. And so you get out there with things moving full speed and life and death decisions. And I actually saw a lot of plays that I wish I should have made, could have shown up better, could have planted and things like that. So I have a lot of areas that I'd like to improve, and I know that this week is a really, really big test. When you talk about their dominance up front, their physicality, wanting to run the ball so many times a game and things like that, it should be a really strong test for us and another area where we can learn from moving forward.
Harrison, what is that moment like when what you're looking for financially matches what they want to give you, and you solidify your future?
Yeah, you know, like I said, it wasn't the easiest of decisions. But we all thought that there maybe get a deal done before the season, and it wasn't exactly where my camp thought was where we wanted it. And so, you know, there's the kind of decision of, well, hey, well, we're going to play then and maybe play out this season. And ended up, again, working with the Vikings and getting it into a sense that we were very comfortable with it. And again, with all those decisions of moving to family and all this stuff, this is a place that I want to be in. My goal here is to win a world championship. And, you know, you could get to free agency and get a cool number, but might not be at a place in an organization that's all in to do that. And the Minnesota Vikings are trying to do that, and I want to play a part.
I think Flo yesterday talked a little bit about you wanting to like enhance your pass rush ability. And I think we saw that in week 1. Like, what have you done in that regard to just focus on that as a skill set?
Yeah, it's interesting. We have, I don't know, I can't remember what they call it. I think it's like 3 betters and bests or something like that, good, betters, and bests. Like 3 things you do well, things you do great, and 3 things you should improve on. And one of the things I should improve on was they said that I need to become a little bit more of a selfish player, because when I'm out there, I'm constantly trying to make sure that where's the space that they're hunting, where could one of my teammates have messed up or slipped, and how can I help them be better? And when you show up on film, especially in the pass rush situations, instead of just like loading my stance and saying I'm going to go win this rush, I'm trying to figure out, well, hey, if he steps this way, should I cover him? Or if he loses his rep, I need to look this way. And I find myself kind of around the line of scrimmage trying to make my teammates right. And, you know, there's a time and place for that. And there's also a time and place where, like, hey, HP, trust yourself. And if you have these one-on-one blocks, maybe you should try and go affect the quarterback a little bit. And so I hope to choose pick those shots in a more aggressive way, in a timely manner where it makes sense. You know, we're not out here swimming blocks and trying to break sack records. I understand what my job is here. But, yeah, I would love to see a jump at being able to create interior pressure. You know, if this was 2001 and teams were in 23 personnel and you needed those nose guys, like that's what I was built for. But as the game evolves, you know, it seems like they're really valuing people who can disrupt quarterback timing. And so I'm trying to elevate my game and change my game to how the game's evolved in the NFL.
What were reactions from guys like Bullard and some of the guys you've been alongside with kind of in the trenches?
Yeah. Well, I would say the support was incredible. I was in here getting rehab when the news broke here, massage, acupuncture, all that stuff, and I think all of a sudden guys just started hugging me, dabbing me up, let me hold $1, let me do this, that, and whatever. I think it was really cool. Obviously, the most respect I want is from my teammates, and them voting me captain this year kind of solidified that, and so I knew that all these guys were super supportive. I thought it was really cool. Later last night, after I was out doing some stuff in the community, I was able to get home and catch up on my phone and to see some of my brothers amongst the league and some other like top defensive linemen and offensive linemen reaching out to me on social media. I thought that was really cool too, to see other people recognize the things I do under the radar.
You mentioned the 49ers run game. What is the biggest challenge in trying to stop that for you?
Ooh, well, I think that one of my greatest strengths is my brain and the way that I can diagnose plays. And, you know, I saw some of the clips that you guys put out on social media from this last game where I can take a step. I know the blocking scheme within a step and be able to shake offensive linemen. Well, here they don't really have good tendencies. For the 4 plays they run this way, they run 4 plays this way. When they go strong, they go open. When they go 4 out, they go condensed, they go split. Everything they have an answer for, and so you can't really guess. So this is a true line up, get our call, and kind of man whoop a man, or can you win your 1/11th of the defense? They have game plan runs, so in the second half I might be able to get to some of those strengths that I have. But just to start the game, P and 10, there's not a lot of tells that we'll know what they're going to do in this run game.
I'm not asking for names or anything, but did you hear from any of your playmakers that were excited that you're staying around?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Elizabeth, who's been a playmaker with me for a long time. She was at an event this offseason with Coach O'Connell, and she posted her video out there. There was a live Q&A session. I think it might have been at a church that Kevin went to, and she got up in line and said, asked a question, and then she said, Kevin, one more thing. I think that you guys should have Harrison Phillips stay here for forever. And so she reposted that and tagged me the other night, and yes, a bunch of my playmakers have been reaching out, and we have a couple events coming up this season, and we'll probably throw a pretty fun little party. Bring your dogs.
Thank you.
Good?
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.